What's going on, everybody? It is the Village 285 gaming crew here. At least some of us, not all of us, but a few of us. I am, of course, Japan Man X3. Who we got with us today, y'all?
On the screen.
Right, it's your boy Song KE, man. We here to make it big. Let's go.
Hey. Big.
What's up, Bandozilla? We're here to talk about some teams. We got some teams to talk about.
A little ting, yes.
There you go.
We out here, it's R Dot. We got a few things to unpack.
And it's your boy Silk, man. I finally got my PS5 before these haters got one. I needed it.
Feel that dual sense. All right, y'all. So Square-Enix said they was going to, do a little something this week out of nowhere. And I personally thought, this is the Western side of Square-Enix. The side we don't really, you know what I'm saying? Marvel, give us some help. Give us some help. Give us some help. I can see it on the sale list sometime soon. I might hop in, but the Tomb Raider stuff, it's not really my bag. I'm here for the Final Fantasies, the RPGs, the Kingdom Hearts. But Project Athia, this once used to be tech demo, now all of a sudden, I still relate this to Agni's philosophy or whatever that was called. It's probably not Agni, but it looked like Agni to me. And now we had Project Athia. We had seen, a little small piece of it, a little small piece of it way back when last year. And now they said at the end of this conference, we're gonna give you some more. So without further ado, we're just gonna show this trailer off right quick. Then we're gonna get into some discussions. Go ahead and throw this over here, right here. Let me share this sound so everybody can hear. You know what I'm saying?
Y'all hope the recording just shows whoever's talking the whole time.
All right, here we go.
Hey everyone, I'm Ella Valinska. Today, I am super excited to finally announce that I play the lead character Frey in working title Project Athia, a brand new IP from Square-Enix and Luminous Productions about a young woman in a beautiful yet threatening world. The development team has been working super hard to create this remarkable journey, and it's been incredibly exciting to be a part of it. Frey is a character I immediately connected with when this project was first brought to me, and I've had so much fun working with the team to bring her character to life in performance capture and voice recording sessions. While we're not quite ready to reveal everything today, we do have a sneak peek at a brand new scene from the game and the final name to share. So please enjoy.
Hide.
Is that a motherfucking dragon? Is it gone?
Yes, and we should leave this place as well.
With that thing out there?
Oh God. See, it's already too epic. It's already like my YouTube don't even want to play it right.
Your PC can't run it, dog.
Bruh, I'm not ready. Let's take this back just a little bit. Hold on.
You had to download it.
Only on the PS6. Coming out 2030.
You're
Not
right.
the 6.
You're right. You're right, though. I don't believe in 22. I don't believe in that.
Really?
Ooh, you don't?
I don't know. I hope to be
Yeah,
wrong. I hope to be wrong. Anytime I see the last portion of that, though, when she running, I just think of what's that song? She's a runner. She's a track star. She gonna run away when it get her. Hey, look, that game looks good. It looks good. I think it does. At least, what y'all think? Oh man,
I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued.
I'm letting some other folks go. I'm
intrigued.
see,
I don't know.
what you
It's
think?
okay. It's okay.
Thank you. That was a B. Even when I watched, I was like, oh, I was surprised. I got hype over it. I was like, okay, this seems. It could be something, but I wasn't blown away at it.
I need to see a little bit more.
Yeah.
I hope there's a lot more Eastern influence, if you know what I mean. I don't.
Yeah.
I want them to work on it.
Mm-hmm.
We can do the motion capturing and the talking, but as far as the gameplay, I wanted. I would have been happy I saw a little Silver P, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Working with them. Yeah, with the little start with platinum.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so
give me something like that. I would have.
I think
that's I need to see more gameplay. I need to see.
Yeah.
what
I think that's a good way to put it, because like for me, I love games where traversal is key, right? Where you can move fast. But at the same time, when it comes to action RPGs, we've had those. Some of them do well, some of them are a little, And so with this one, it does look like it's kind of weighty with the combat, just from like seeing the bear and how she kind of interacted with that. It looked like, she had some stronger stuff that happened like right there at the end. But I want to see more. I want to see more, like, it's an open world. Obviously, you can move faster as open world. So I'm sure there's a lot of it. So what is going to keep me invested and engaged with whatever enemy types I fight against and everything like that. But with how fast her movement is, I am really, really, really intrigued to see how like they pull off different like combat styles, right? Like especially like aerial combat, right? Or I think we all can kind of go back to like Final Fantasy 7, and even if we think about 15, they didn't really do anything with aerial combat. It just kind of was like, if you're on the ground, you stay on the ground, you try your best to kind of get whatever's in the air, but it's not really anything that you really can really interact with. Whereas this character looks like she can just go anything. She can do whatever she wants to almost. So yeah, I think that's going to be really intriguing, just to kind of pull that element into it. And just the fluidity of how she was getting around, like, man, that was like some parkour type stuff.
But to your point, I think, because me and Japan Man talked about this before, I agree with him in terms of traversal, because there's some games I will go back to just to do that. Like back in the day, Spider-Man 2, I would put that in just to swing, or Hulk Ultimate Destruction. I would put it on just to jump around. It was dope. But you see this, I'm thinking, I got excited because this is a brand new IP. We don't get a lot of those, especially from Square. I can't think of the last brand new IP we got from Square, what it was.
Outriders.
Outriders is Square?
No, that's not Square. No,
that is Square.
No, they're producing it. They're not developing it.
Yeah, it's under their label.
Nah, they got their money. That's their money. That's their money talking. That's not their work. That's their money.
I get what you say.
That's their money.
There's nothing brand spanking new from there. At least from the RPG side, it seems like.
Yeah. But if you look at just the few little seconds we got, man, just the possibility. Like run that fast, and imagine you had a giant boss and you moving that fast in an open world environment, or imagine you fighting a boss that can do the same things as you can. So y'all just running, fight each other.
It'll definitely be very tense. It'll definitely be very tense.
Yeah, it could get crazy. So I'm very, very much looking forward to this. I'm hoping it brings something new to the table. We see. Even with 16, that Square, they're trying to mix up stuff, because that jump, they got the Devil May Cry guys for that jump, right? Am I wrong?
Yeah, they took the dude that did, I think, the battle producing or something like that.
Yeah. So with this open world,
I agree. I want to see who's behind this project.
Yeah.
I want to see like who's behind it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I got 2 questions then. Since this is they've had this project, what was it
Athia.
Athia.
How much of the rumor mill or how much of those details have you guys followed before this trailer even dropped? Did y'all keep up with any of those?
Well,
There wasn't
I
even
was
really
just-
anything.
Yeah, as far as I know, there wasn't
I'm
much.
surprised that they kept the engine. To be honest with you,
Luminous,
I
yeah.
mean, because remember they did the little tech demo with it.
Yeah, they
And
did
that
the
was
tech
it.
demo with
That-
it. Yeah.
That's
Mhm.
it. That's the last time you heard of it.
Yeah.
Because
And I
they
think
made-
Luminous isn't something that's going to be kept. It literally is
Yeah.
like this project pretty much at this point because they've shifted everything to Unreal. And that was one of the biggest things with Kingdom Hearts 3 was that Kingdom Hearts 3 started development on Luminous.
Yeah, remember everybody thought it was going to be with this engine.
Yeah.
They switched to Unreal.
Yeah,
To
they
be
switched
honest,
to
I
Unreal.
love the way
That's what it was.
I love the way it looked when they first showed it. I mean, it still looks great now. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong, but
Yeah, I like.
They had
OG.
really big plans for how they wanted Kingdom Hearts 3 to like look when you went to the different worlds. And I think when they switched to Unreal, it was kind of late in the game for them to kind of do it exactly like how they wanted to. But yeah, I think the engine itself is really formidable, but it's one of those things where like it's made in Japan, everything about it is kind of Japanese. And so Unreal is kind of like global in the sense that they formulated for global developers. The instructions are in more languages than just English. Whereas I think, as far as I heard about Luminous last time I like researched it, it was like it's all in Japanese. So it's harder to pull new developers in. And I mean, this isn't new for Square-Enix. They've kind of done this because I think there was like something called Crystal Tools or something like that where they were doing something else. And it's just is like you don't have to do this much work. So I think they just have started coming around to Unreal and being able to use more platforms for that. But I do think with what they've been showing off with this, it is pretty powerful because even when we saw Agni's Philosophy, it was a tech demo that was just showing off how incredible this stuff could look. And this was like the live CG, what we thought used to be CGI, and now all of a sudden looking like the game. And so yeah, I think that translated well with this. I mean, the mocap, you can kind of tell is well acted. You got a good voiceover artist already kind of like showing some of her chops. So there is that. Obviously that didn't reveal anything about the story at all. You can just tell like there are a lot of like dead looking animals that will kill you. So yeah,
souls. It looked like open world souls mixed in with some Final Fantasy 15.
It definitely looks like she, as far as her character, she's from our era, and somehow she gets pulled into this world.
Yeah,
and then she's just having to learn to survive it. For what and why, we don't know yet, obviously. Yeah. I agree with Brandozilla in the sense that I'm just happy to see a brand new IP out of Square, and it looks like they're really trying to do something to a reasonable degree fresh.
And a black female lead. Like, when's the last time we had like a female lead in a game that was black? You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. And I'll be honest, the last good female lead game that I played was Tomb Raider, to be honest. The rebooted Tomb Raider, that was the last good, like a good hands down through and through female lead that I played. So I'm definitely interested to see how this goes.
Yeah.
So then my second question then, what do you guys get from their console choice? Or they're choosing to choose just those two platforms with Sony and with the PC world?
Yeah.
What do you guys read from that?
Microsoft gets no love, man.
No love. I think that's gonna be another. That has to be another topic we gotta discuss soon because the big boys are buying things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think what it is probably there's something going on behind the scenes. Square is gonna side with Sony.
Just my little 2 piece. I think they're putting their money in. We all been hearing that the games are becoming more and more expensive to make, and I think the companies they're finna influence that greatly.
Yeah,
PC is not a company though. That's not a stance on anything. That's just work for them.
Well, I think they know where their demographic is, right? Because the PlayStation and Japanese RPGs kind of are synonymous.
Yeah.
And the fan base of Japan mostly leans towards, as far as like in between, if you put Sony and Xbox together, it's gonna be PlayStation. Now, granted, I don't think the PS5 has been branded towards Japan as heavily as maybe some of the previous consoles were. I think Nintendo with the Switch is dominating in Japan, and the stock for the PS5 doesn't help it in that position as well. But overall, I think Square is well aware of who their major audience is for that. And you know, later on, we've seen them do the Game Pass release for like Kingdom Hearts and stuff now, you know, where they'll throw some of their older titles on. And I'm sure this will eventually maybe come over. I didn't see, it wasn't portrayed, as far as I remember, as exclusive like how 16 was. So maybe this may come over. I don't know. But the fact that it's on PC too, just to me shows that, okay, they think this is going to work on both platforms, which is interesting because, like, again, new engine, never kind of really been used before, so that's a lot of confidence if they think they can really pull both off at the same time. But yeah, I mean, I don't want to look too deep into it when really it just kind of is what it is with how the games industry is right now, you know.
I think the gaming industry.
Yeah.
We thinking deep, we can big brain it, but I think it's come down to money. I mean,
yeah,
it's a money hat probably.
Give you ABC, bring this stuff.
This could be, you know, very, very, you know, indirect response to the fact that Microsoft just purchased Bethesda.
Yeah,
I mean,
so
and two, I mean, like I said, you market towards your audience, and single player role playing games don't exist on Xbox product. Most of Xbox, they tend to go towards the multiplayer online aspect. I mean, look at the gallery of PlayStation has Ghost of Tsushima,
I mean,
God of War, Uncharted,
That's why
Last of Us.
they bought it.
Games are single player games, you know. So, I mean,
here's why Microsoft bought. Here's why they bought Bethesda.
They needed games.
They needed those games.
They needed games.
Yeah, and two, I mean, I'm trying to figure out with this game, we tried to freeze it a little bit to look at what she's doing, and we see that she's doing stuff with, you know, vines and stuff like that. But with the bear boss, we can't tell if, at least I can't tell. Maybe people in the comments seen it, but does she freeze them in stone or what? So like, what can she do? Is she manipulating the evidence?
Even with the title crawl, like how they try and build the title, you kind of see somewhat of different elements potentially.
Ultimate elements,
And so, even like when she's running, I kind of saw, like, if you look closely at like the trail she leaves when she's running, is a little yellow. I don't know if that means it's like lightning is involved or something like that. So I think she can control the elements to an extent. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what all she can do, how that of course will grow. I mean, we know how this works with game and characters.
This could be the Avatar game, man.
That's what I'm about to say.
The Avatar game. That's it. It's the Avatar game, man. I mean,
Avatar game.
She doing the whole Shinobi running. All thing she gotta do is do like this. That's all she gotta do.
Well, yeah. So they say 2022 is the year. How confident do we feel in this?
Man, can they make more PlayStations? Man, my thumb hurt from buying this PlayStation.
They didn't say early 2022 neither. They didn't put
no. Just say 2022.
So they could be December. They could be Christmas 22. So
sure. I definitely think it's if anything, it's going to be a fall launch of in 2022 if they meet that. I do think, like, I personally am of the belief that 16 is coming, because Square wouldn't really back to back this, like, in the sense of like in the same year. They knew Final Fantasy 16 is going to be a Omega seller whenever it drops. And you're not going to cannibalize none of your sales by dropping this anywhere remotely near it. So I think they're going to give 16 its own year to kind of get it up. And then as soon as that may start potentially lagging, you know, you drop this. So I'm pretty confident that they probably will. Again, this has been something that's been shown kind of sort of for a long time. So, I mean, they've been working on this concept for a while, it would seem. And the fact that we're seeing gameplay, whereas like old Square would show you a title screen for 2 years before you saw anything, before you saw the first real actual trailer. So
yeah, man, please understand. That's my favorite Square quote.
It's the best.
Understand.
Exactly what they was doing.
I suppose we'll learn when we learn more and they show us more. I'll have more confidence that it's going to have a 2022 release date. But until then, this is not a guarantee in that regard.
True.
I could easily see it being pushed back. So perhaps later on in past the summertime, or even later on during the Game Awards, if we see more of this title again.
Yeah.
Because again, there's still, like you said, 16. There's still Final Fantasy 7 Intergrade coming out. God of War Ragnarok still hasn't even really been pushed even any of that hard. So there's a lot of stuff.
Or Horizon.
Horizon Forbidden West. Like there's still a lot of stuff in the pipeline. So until I start to see like a concrete proof that they're really gonna try to push for 2022, I'm not really confident in it, because there's just so much in the pipeline that other people are clearly more adept and waiting for. This is a brand new IP. Granted, I'm grateful for a new IP, but being that there's plenty of other games right now that people are more so anticipating, I could easily see them pushing this back purely because there's just the window isn't right for it.
Yeah, I agree with that, because we don't know when those are going to release, and if we talking Christmas 2022, we don't know what's coming out in that time span, because you don't want to put this out there. I think it's a time period between the winter and the new year where games get released to die or something like that.
Yeah,
it's a sweet spot. I forget, but yeah.
Well,
but
it's when you get around that Call of Duty refresh or the sports refreshes where that's when a certain audience is buying games, and kind of like the sleeper hits kind of start coming out, or just the ones that no one's really gonna care about. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, this year has potential to really be stacked, kind of like to Sonke's point, where you do have your God of Wars, your Horizons, all that kind of get teased. I know Gran Turismo 7 got pushed to next year already. So Naughty Dog probably is going to release Factions as the standalone multiplayer for Last of Us, but we haven't really heard a ton of developments for a whole bunch of major franchises, or just from major developers about what some of their new stuff is going to be. Obviously the year with COVID stopped a lot of that type of press, so we got a year full of like indies and smaller game announcements and everything. But I do think once the ball gets rolling and the time we get to E3, we'll see more major bombshells start to get dropped down. And I think this one, if we see it again at E3, I'll be I don't know, I'll be on both sides. I could be kind of surprised, because I do think, again, sticking to my point of I think 16 is coming out this year, that E3 will be dedicated to 16, like from Square-Enix's side. Like I think we're gonna start seeing a deep dive into that, because kind of like how Bethesda is it Bethesda really? No, who makes Doom?
Bethesda.
Okay, that is Bethesda.
Yeah.
So it's like with them, they got to a point where it was like, hey, we're gonna show you this at E3. You're gonna buy it by October, November. Like it was gonna be ready. Like they did that with Fallout. Yeah, that's the perfect way to roll out a game, I believe. And I think a lot of people have really started to see, like, you can't just like show us your trailer once every 2 years and then think we're gonna still be as invested. Now, if you're a major franchise, sure, but like we're gonna hate you for doing that.
But this one as a new franchise, it needs to come out.
Yeah, as a new IP, I mean, like, give us some information, keep us invested, keep us engaged. But yeah, I do think 16 is going to have its year of attention. So I'm not going to say this is the only time we'll see this, but it probably is kind of like the Sonke's point. Like by the time we get to like the last part of the year where they do like, Game Awards or something like that, that's when we may start seeing more.
We ain't talking about Game Awards. Man.
Game Awards are okay, bro. They're okay.
No, that's another time out to go, man. Trash.
All right, so I guess around the room, how many of us are giving it the thumbs up, looking forward to it, or?
I'm giving it.
I love this stuff.
I give it a thumbs up.
Yeah, I'll give it a thumbs up.
Yeah, I'm happy for new. It's too much saying.
I'm happy for new.
Too much
unanimous then.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it's like I said, it's.
Give it a thumbs up.
Yeah, it's brand new. I'm hoping Square's kind of been on the roll a little bit, just a little bit. We're gonna see how.
I mean, like. Nier is coming, and Nier has kind of solidified itself too. So they have so many tentpole franchises now.
They'll say, give me good gameplay, give me an awesome story.
Yeah,
that's all I want.
That's all I really need. Like, all I need.
Like I said, I think, keep our eye on it. We know that COVID is influencing a lot, but not only COVID with the developers, have to work out of their norm, but just the supply and demand of the new consoles.
Yeah.
I think that in itself too, I think a lot of this stuff is probably on its way of, getting close to a release date. They've been had the developer kit. I think most of the stuff is waiting on just the supply
The
catching
people,
up.
the bodies who actually own it.
Ragnarok 16 can release tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like what? And it will be.
It's not gonna sell like it can,
Yeah.
like because
They're gonna wait.
It
They're
ain't gonna
trying to
sell.
wait
It's
to
not
the
gonna
most
sell.
prime opportunity.
I
to get the
need
most
so
of
yeah.
it.
So
Yeah.
you got to think of the money aspect. If
Mhm.
I'm a big company, I need people to have the consoles for me to sell
yeah.
and advertise the game. So
Yeah, that's true.
we'll see. But
Holiday
gameplay itself,
Holiday 16 is happening, bro. Holiday season.
Holiday 16.
Holiday 16, bro.
I see 16 like more like a October.
October? Oh no. It's 16. 16 will be a holiday
16 is
on
closing out the year, bro.
2020.
Because you remember Kingdom Hearts 3 came out like in the January. Like
Yeah.
they started the year off with that.
But you
Did
can do
15
that.
come out? Did 15 came out in March?
Yeah,
What's-
well, no, 15 came out. It was like October, November-ish, because
It was October, November. What? They did something.
because
in
Breath of the
March?
Wild came out the March after 15 came out. That's the only reason why I remember that.
Okay. So
Yeah,
they like to do their stuff. They like to catch a game end of the year.
Ooh, 16 versus Breath of the Wild too?
I thought about that.
Breath of the
I'm
Wild.
buying both.
Thought about
I'm
that.
buying both.
What you putting in first?
16.
I'm playing 16. And the only
That's
reason
crazy.
that's how I did 15. I had to
That's
go back to
crazy.
15 to make sure I can get to respect the Zelda.
I'm playing it now. I'm enjoying it, but ain't no way you telling me.
That's
No.
crazy.
16. Are you
I'm going
Right.
Breath of the Wild 2 all day.
What
Breath
is
of the
wrong
Wild
with
2
you
all day.
guys? You guys are crazy.
16 ain't
Let's
going
just be
nowhere.
honest. Let's be
Breath of
honest
the Wild
though.
2 ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
It's gonna say breath on the shelf.
No, because there's more Switch owners than there are PlayStation 5 owners. But also you have to take into consideration. Let's just be real. This is unprecedented because this is realistically by far the very, relatively speaking, the first Zelda sequel.
Yeah.
We've never had a Zelda sequel
That's
before.
true.
We've had reiterations
Majora's
constantly. Majora's Mask kind of was a sequel to
Yeah.
Ocarina, but
It's a
more or less,
sequel,
this is the
but
first
it ain't.
sequel
Yeah.
story
So,
that
Well,
we've
but the
ever
thing
had.
about it
That's
is-
unprecedented.
Breath of the Wild for the story itself isn't why I love Breath of the Wild. It's a good
'Cause
story.
you're whack.
Not why I love it.
True.
Whereas 16, any Final Fantasy game, I can't have that spoiled for me. I gotta play it. I need to go ahead and get
True.
back.
The same thing. My point being though is that
now that I have a Switch, I've been playing Breath of the Wild. It's good, but it's no way I'm not going to put 16. No, right? No.
Look, y'all bring up a fair point. Y'all
Yeah, sure.
don't want to
No
be
way.
spoiled from
And I love 15. I told I was late,
Yeah.
very late to 15. 15
Yeah,
was the stuff.
okay. If it wasn't for the spoilers, I'll have
Yeah.
one.
And the only reason I think the way they presented 16 is different. Like it looks like it's gonna do some.
there's a lot riding on it. There's a lot
There's a lot
riding on it.
riding on it.
Yeah, and this is
It's
like
going back to the old school. Look like the old school.
Yeah.
Looks like the very first Final Fantasy.
gotta put
Honestly.
that
yeah,
in.
like
I gotta
definitely
put it in.
FF3 at least. Like
Yes.
the jobs you can
Even-
tell like they have jobs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like even if it sucks, I just gotta see like
I gotta see what happens.
version of the old school.
It's
Yeah.
Final
I
Fantasy,
have to
bro.
put
Like
that
Well, I mean,
it's Final
got
Fantasy,
something-
bro.
It's got something to prove because
Yeah.
we love Final Fantasy 7 to death. It was amazing.
Oh yeah.
But 16 has to prove that they still got it. They can take the franchise somewhere new. The same with if we're bringing it back to this franchise, Forspoken.
They
It's
need
got to show that Square-Enix still can do it. Not
Yeah.
you know.
they need one that garners universal praise,
Yeah.
right? Because I think every Final Fantasy since 13, well, since 12, to be honest, I mean, well, technically since 11. 11 was online, right? That
Mhm.
caused a huge divide in the sense that either you was going to play it and play a subscription or you weren't. Like that's just that was what it was. 12 comes out and it's not turn-based. That's different right? 13
turn
comes out and it's a linear game.
automatic.
It opens up at the end. You play as one person. If you die, that's the end. Like it did way too many different things that people, it caused a divide in the fan base. Now I love 13. I think 12 is one of the best Final Fantasies ever, but that's me. I know I don't speak for the whole fan base. 14, again, back to online. Some people say 14 has the best story in any Final Fantasy game. Some people will never get to experience that, right? And then we have 15, where it's like, okay, you have what was supposed to be an epic tale, like just an epic tale, and it got neutered because of so many different reasons, right? It just got hamstrung. They took Toriyama, they brought Toriyama on, took Nomura off. Like it just so many things happened, and it shows in the game. Now the game is great to me. I love it, but again, it's something that we understand caused a rift in terms of people who love it versus people who hate it, and some who are kind of in between. Now 14 having some of the best reputation as far as Final Fantasy right now as a series, you have the producer of that directing 16. So it's a lot of high expectation that it's going to be good. Like out the gate, you think the story is going to be good. And why do we love Final Fantasy? The story, you know what I'm saying? So like, I really do think this one is going to be finally one of the ones in a long time that does not cause, huge divides. I think this is going to be the one that's going to be like overwhelming praise. That's what they need, kind of like to Brando's point.
Yeah, they got to do it, man. They got to prove it with 16 and with Forspoken. Like, dare I say it, if they nail those two, I'm be like, oh, Square's back, baby.
They still got it. They got my respect.
Well, I mean, they've been back since FF7 remake. Don't fool yourself. Remake
it. I'm saying, but FF7 is glorious. But let's be real, it's from a proven concept.
It's already proven. Yeah, you're right. It's already proven.
It has its fan base. Like, of course, it's gonna do well. So
So we're always looking for a new Final Fantasy to show us why we care about the new characters, the new gameplay, everything like that.
Man. Before Forspoken got it, I want her to. I want what's her name? Fran. What's
Fran?
I think it's Fran.
Yeah. She
Fran and Annie.
She need to sit. You need to come sit at the table with my newcomer, my boy Jin from Tsushima. They need
to sit there.
Yeah. We need a Tsushima appreciation day one day. One of these podcasts.
We do.
But yeah,
I'll let y'all talk about that. That'll be a good one.
All right,
y'all. So we talked about it, and we'll wait a whole year until we see more about it. I'm sure we'll have more reactions to more stuff. This was fun. This is like a little mini pod, just like a little sit down, react. There's been a few big trailers that have come out. We had the Final Fantasy VII Intergrade trailer. Julian has finished 13 Sentinels. Like, we have stuff we can talk about, guys. So I mean, if I want to do more of these,
we need to make that one right there.
They not ready. They not ready. These boys in here not ready.
You got it? Did you get it? Did you buy it yet? Oh no, he got the house. Never mind.
Brando, he ain't playing games. He ain't
got it.
He ain't playing no game right now. He playing house.
Yeah.
And Monster Hunter Rise about to come out. My soul gone.
We got some Monster Hunter footage coming out too. We got some fun with
Monster Hunter right now. Brandon, you gotta play that 13 though. So.
You gotta play Brando of all people. As a Japanese head as you are, bro, like
as a Japanese head, you
gotta play. He's the one. He gonna play 13 Sentinels, no subtitles in Japanese the whole time, and he gonna be feeling it.
I'm like, Naze.
You talk about My Hero and Naruto being some of the best anime.
That's what I'm saying. Oh my god,
this is the best. These are some of the best characters, bro. Oh my goodness.
All right, y'all.
But this was fun. Okay. We'll do it again. Until then, y'all be safe.
Easy, y'all.
Peace.
Peace.